July 2025 sales partner recap. Let's get it kicked off here. So, following similar format of our previous ones, we'll kind of look at sales recap or direct sales, partners recap, and then things that we're working on mixed in there as well. Get the bar to go.
Is it stuck?
Yeah, it always does this. All right. Technical difficulties. Bam. All right, so total sales revenue year to date, looking back, so we are down 6.88% year over year. Last month, about a 7.5% down from last year that time. New sales are down 22% year over year for the month of July, previously closer to 23% in June. Renewal sales are down 4.46% year over year. It was roughly 5.15% in June. When compared to July, year over month, July 2024, it's about net even. We're almost at kind of a 0% situation there. Things that we are working on, direct sales. As many of you are aware, we had 4 people going through our Nagios technical program for sales, which was just new sales hires with the intention to backfill some positions that we had open. They all went through their final presentations at the beginning of August, but near the end of July, where they presented essentially, they did like a kind of a pared down demo of Nagios XI and log server, and we just peppered them with questions and tried to make them squirm and uncomfortable and throw them off, and they all did a really good job. Igor was the lucky one. Had Ethan sit in on his because Ethan showed up that day and figured he would be there for his, and it ends up being that Igor is going to be doing a presentation on Nagios for the conference now, which I think is good. It's good for him to get some more time with the product and be able to speak to it. We moved all of them to the sales hallway after those presentations, so previously they were over in 118, which is now going to be home to the new interns that started today. But they are now set up in offices. They're in general population with the rest of us. We, out of the 4, have put 3 tentatively into the CSM role or the Customer Success Manager role, and then 1 is going to be focused on Channel Account Manager, which is more of the partner side. We're really excited about that. Having 3 more CSMs will put us at 6, which will be the most we've ever had in the history of the company. And we're pretty excited to see how we can make a difference with more hands-on approach to renewals and being able to have more meaningful conversations with our existing customers. Right now, in the first week or so since we've moved them, they're really just focusing on shadowing, hands-on training with people that are already in that role, getting more into the day-to-day of the roles than they previously were, because really the first 2 months they've been here, the large focus was on technical training, understanding our product, and it's kind of the first time that we've really focused our sales staff in that manner where we front-loaded it all with tech training. We put them through the paces, we made sure they stood up the products in a sufficient manner, configured a whole lot of stuff, and really are able to speak to the product and get that baseline product knowledge before we move into more of a sales approach, which I think is awesome, and they're all doing very, very well. We had the departure of Al Wiggy in the month of July, middle of the month last month, and he certainly will be missed. That puts us at 2 sales executives now for our outbound team. We have no plans to hire a 3rd back on anytime soon. We really want to just leave the 2 existing ones to just kind of pile on. We turned leads off, or the ability to capture leads off, back in around October. And we just turned those back on a couple months ago. So we're building up the pipeline, and I think it's a good opportunity for the two sales executives to really pile on and start building up their pipeline again, and really getting in the weeds with those leads. Did a little bit of discussion and back and forth. It was kind of collaborative between dev and marketing, sales, partners. We all kind of got together to discuss getting rid of the 2-instance Nagios log server license and moving the 3-instance into that position for a number of reasons I won't get into. There was a kind of, with the change to OpenSearch, there's something on the back end now that created an issue where if the primary server went down, you wouldn't be able to continue collecting logs because the other two didn't know what to do. Or I guess the other one in the case of the 2-instance. So, long story short, we have replaced the 2-instance with a 3-instance now, and we will no longer be selling the 2-instance as a result. Other than that, just general training, focus on continued learning with the existing staff, new staff, and Q&A, especially ahead of our release this week for XI 2024 R2.1, which we're really excited about with Mod Gearman coming. Deals, so 68 new customers year to date. Those are net new sales for our outbound sales executives. There was 8 new customers in the month of July. 1,669 renewal deals closed year to date, and 239 of those were in the month of July, which was roughly $2.7 million in revenue for the month for renewals. Compared to June, that was around 1.7. So we're starting to kind of see, we typically follow somewhat of a cycle where we start to really pile on in Q3 and Q4. So we're excited to see that happening. Other than that, I will turn it over to John.
Alrighty. Alright, back to same as last month, the collaborative sales metrics. You'll see 48%, 48.11% will be the partner sales, 26.39, the upper left quadrant there. That would be just the collaborative sales between sales and partners, where they commingle on an opportunity. And then 25.5% will be the direct sales, where it's just direct sales that have worked on an opportunity. Resource guide is in the final stages of review, and once green lighted, a CSM and outbound sales version will be created. So we're changing it up a little bit. We had some re-imaging that we wanted to do on that resource guide, so that will be, once again, resource rich. The interesting thing that we've decided to do is every CAM, every CSM, every direct salesperson will have their own that they can give out along with quotes to either their partner, end user, or both. So this will help align that customer with their contact here, as well as increase, visibility across each opportunity, so that that end user or partner can really understand and see who they're dealing with and have resources to get to the appropriate team. They can save that right on their desktop, along with other resources that we have, like a resource landing page for our pass-through partners, which is our entry-level tier into the partner program. We tell them to save that bookmark, but this will also be a document they can have on their desktop. First thing you do when you open your computer, turn on the desktop, it's staring at you. We want them to have that there so they can reference that quickly. Expired license campaign initiative is closer to being implemented, so we're going to be going back 9 months and probably further than that with a campaign to touch those expired licenses to try and rekindle that fire of relationship with Nagios. So we're looking forward to seeing how that moves the needle. We hope that we get some traction with that. Also, we're going at it a little bit differently, where we're going to be offering a third party to do some health checks for their system, a couple emails into that campaign. What that'll do is it'll say, okay, if you've moved away from Nagios, number one, why? And number two, we still care about you. We want to make sure that your infrastructure is healthy, and going at it from a holistic approach, from a health check, making sure that it's working efficiently and appropriately, and then maybe backfill with a Nagios license, kind of a soft sell approach. That's the goal. Year-to-date, 69 new pass-through partners have been added since January. This includes worldwide partners over 35 countries. 127 new opportunities were closed so far this year and 864 renewals. Doing okay. We need to continue to move the needle. And speaking to numbers, which we're going to get to, you know, just in the last week we had a wonderful week to close up, well, this first week in August. And hopefully that keeps going through August, but we did make up a lot of ground from the numbers you see here and for the direct sales. And hopefully, if that continues, we're on a great pace to really move the needle in August. So hopefully we see that. Partner revenue down by 7.6. Last month it was 8.7. So we're starting to see that uptick there as well. And one thing to know is that we go month to month. It's not just that we're seeing more come in the third and fourth quarter of the year, which typically we do. We're comparing that to last year when we did the same thing. So if we're making up ground, that means we're even doing a better job than we were last year to try and, you know, get us to where we were. That's the goal. New revenue is still down 23%. Geopolitical, not sure what's causing that. You know, we're still asking these partners what's happening. Some would say budget. Some would say that they're just not renewing because of, you know, they're told we don't have the budget for this. We're moving to a different solution. We're moving to an in-house based monitoring system as opposed to a third party. It's hard to tell. 127, I think, 100 new opportunities again at 127. But you can see that we have some work to do. And that's what we're focusing on. Go to the next one. Partner renewal revenue, down from last year at 5.29%. Once again, in 6.9 in June, so we're moving the needle a little bit there. 864 renewals year to date. Some of the newer renewals. These folks haven't changed in 2 or 3 months, so hopefully we have some bigger deals that come in that we can put some different people on the leaderboard. That's the goal. And that's it from us.
Yep.
That closes it up for this month. Short and sweet. Any questions at all?
Do we have, like, when they do go to a different resource, like other than in-house, where are they often citing? Is there like a top one?
We don't really have, so with partners anyways, it's hard to get an answer to that. A lot of times they just say, well, it's budgetary, or they've decided to move somewhere else, but they won't give us that because they think in many cases that partner is also selling that alternative solution.
Oh, sure.
And it's a little bit close to the vest. That way they don't want us to maybe sell against that, which I understand. It can be a touchy landscape, but we're still trying every time we get, you know, that somebody isn't moving forward, we're trying to find out why, but most of it's budgetary.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as direct goes, you know, we'll hear that someone's like not renewing, and we always make a point to say, hey, what can we be doing better? Did you move to a different solution? Hit or miss whether they are forthcoming with that information, but there's not like one standout solution. You know, you hear all sorts of ones. Sometimes it's as simple as they don't have the budget, as John was saying, and like they're still using Nagios, they're just using the perpetual license version. And it's really up to us to develop and improve the product to the point that they want to come back into the fold and renew, whether that be mid-year or later, which does happen. We do see that, so.
Nagios Spot Gearman, I think, is going to make a difference too.
Yeah.
Some people that don't renew are because they used the original.
Yeah.
That was no longer supported. So by us re-releasing that, or upcoming releasing that again, that I think is going to move the needle a bit. One of our partners is already like, yeah, I already have a handful of people that are ready for it. So that's good. So that's a rekindling of that relationship again, because that's available.
I'd say one thing that I do hear, as opposed to just one-off solutions for monitoring, is a common theme might be like from an organizational standpoint, the rest of their teams use like SolarWinds or something, and they want to have one uniform platform for the entire organization. So it's not uncommon in some cases that although the people or the departments using Nagios are diehard Nagios people, are basically just told you can't use it anymore. It's come up a handful of times when I have gotten more on a level to level with the customer, like, why are you moving away? It's definitely been conversations I've had before, which is, we should try to bring them into our ecosystem, you know? And that's why, like, I'm so excited about having additional CSMs and being able to have more of those one-off conversations and more hands-on approach to how we service our existing customers.
How often are they concerned about like real-time monitoring?
It comes up.
Yeah,
It comes up.
It comes up, and the first piece of the puzzle is figuring out what they actually consider real time.
Yeah, like sub-second or.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah.
obviously, you know, there's a threshold that we can do, and
Without launching a whole new line.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Another thing we see is like active monitoring, high
Yeah.
availability.
Yeah,
So actually one of our partners is working with Jeffrey right now on a solution for that.
Okay.
yeah.
And they're getting really close. So.
I'd say
That's
a
just-
high availability solution or workaround is more common than real time.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's like, with a few exceptions, like real time, like when we tell them with passive checks you can get down to, you know, like I said, a minute or so, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
they're totally fine with that. There are the really small subset of like highly secretive government sort of contracts. They're like, no, this is an absolute requirement. So, in which case, obviously, we can't check that box. But so,
There are other ways we can kind of like cover, like get it so that these teams are able to move entirely into Nagios instead of like Solaris and Nagios, wherever, like other directions we can push towards.
I think that the biggest thing for us is being able to proactively have those conversations. So, if you weren't aware, I think I haven't checked it recently, but there's roughly 8 to 9,000 existing like customers, and for the longest time we've had 3 customer success managers. So when you think of actually trying to have meaningful day-to-day conversations and stuff, we've always prioritized the top ticket people or organizations that are on the verge of maybe upgrading and really trying to pour all of our efforts into those. So there's a few things coming that are really going to help with this. Having 3 additional CSMs is going to be awesome. We're also working on automation within Salesforce, so more custom like automation messaging for like our touch points. Our 3, 6, and 9 month touch points is typically when we make a point to reach out no matter what for the CSMs. At the 9 month point, we send them a proactive quote for renewal to start the conversation for procurement. But having all of that stuff just taken care of and taken off their day-to-day plate of manually sending emails, whether they be templates or not, and being able to focus more on proactive one-off conversations with customers is going to be really good for us.
And we're doing the same thing with partners. So we're going to be automating not only the 90-day quote that we do as a proactive quote, we're doing other emails during the year that we're going to automate as well. And it's more touches for that CAM without them even knowing it's happening. And it allows them to then focus once again on the relationship but more on the partner side. So it's neat that we have a partner relationship team and we have the customer relationship team. So we work in tandem many times where the partner's got a 90-day quote out there, they're reaching out at the same time. So they have 2 people communicating. And sometimes that causes little bumps in the road because the partner thinks that we're trying to take their deal, but we're not. But anyways, it's that constant communication with that end user that hopefully bridges the gap so we don't lose anybody through the cracks.
Yeah.
And that's truly the goal. And the more we can do automated and we can control the message, the better.
Yeah.
We're just trying to retain as much as we can and obviously grow easier with automation. It
Yeah,
just
I
makes the
think
job easier.
a big piece of that, which I guess I didn't point out, like I said, at 9 months we typically would create a quote, send it to the end user, say, hey, your renewal is coming up. That quote, we're working to have like even the quote within Salesforce just automatically generated. So all we have to do is go in, review it, make sure it's right, and then send it off, which is gonna free up a lot of time for the people working those. So
On the partner team, that was one person's job,
yeah,
was just quotes. So if we can free that person up, we can use that person's extra time for extra activities. So it's really about just engaging more. And if we can, I think we'll see a benefit as a result.
What was the timeline on these automations?
Third quarter?
yeah, within the
Yeah,
next
within
few
the
months.
next few months. At least that's what we've been told.
That's what we've been told, but a lot of what was going into that is data cleanup within Salesforce.
Yep.
Just, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have clean data, it's not going to really do you too much. So there's been a huge effort by Michelle, who's the Salesforce admin, working to clean all of that up before we really get into this. But we've been crafting the templates we want to use, make sure that they're more personalized. They're not just corporate jargon. Hello there,
Robotic.
because I found, just as my time as a CSM, the very short, sweet, personalized message, you could tell it was coming from a person. Even though there's templates I made, got way more response. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
People can see through the other stuff. Yeah,
yeah, there's nothing worse.
nothing worse. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anything else? Okay.